Alright, so this video is about landscapes and making topography. So this might be really useful for drawing the, well, it's just a pretty helpful little tool. So what we're going to do is go to View, Toolbars, Sandbox, make sure that's checked off, and then this little dialog will come up. What Sandbox is your landscape tools. So this is what makes topography in SketchUp. So what we're going to do today is a scene with kind of like a little pond, or a little place with like mountains and water, but we'll get there. So first we're going to make the water level. So make a box that's 60 feet by 60 feet. Oops. So this is our water layer. And what we're going to do is go grab our paint bucket and go into water. And grab the water pool light, which is transparent. And yeah, and the way you know it's transparent is if you orbit underneath and you can still see the person standing there. So this is our water layer. And now what we're going to do is make our topography layer. So with our sandbox tool, we're going to grab our from scratch, and we want to draw it from the same axis as the that we drew the water. So what we're going to do is when we click, we're going to make sure when we grab it, we draw on the green layer and we extend it out 60 feet on the green axis. So 60 feet, and then we'll length 60 feet. So right here, this is our topography layer. Now what we want to do is explode this so that we can edit it. So let's right click on the object and hit explode. So now what we did is just basically made these individual squares that we can edit. So yeah, from here we'll go to our smooth tool, and smooth basically raises or lowers the area that you need to edit. So let's go ahead and just select a few squares. What I'm doing is I'm clicking and holding shift to grab a few. So let's grab these couple and go to our smooth tool, and as you can see, when you click and release, you can actually move this this geometry. So what we'll do here is we'll just move it down a bit, and then here we'll grab this corner. Actually, what we'll do is let's just highlight a couple squares by dragging left to right, grabbing our smooth tool again. And it's okay if you go past the water, that's the whole objective here. And then up here, maybe we want to draw a couple hills or something. Yeah, and just basically just mess around until you find something that you like. Sure, something like that. So here's our little lake scene. And there's this other tool here, which is the Add Detail. And what Add Detail does is if you zoom in to any of your squares, basically anywhere you're editing this topography, is you can click anywhere and it adds another edge to that surface. So it's kind of cool. You can make lots of weird shapes with that. And it also works a little like smooth too, because if you click on a corner where the geometry is intersecting, you can actually just raise it. So that's kind of cool. Let's make a couple more. Yeah, that looks good. So now what we want to do is okay. So what we want to do is triple click the geometry, the land. And what we want to do is go to the From Contours. Whoops, that's not it. Don't do that. I believe it's somewhere here. Soften smooth edges, I believe it is. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to just pause this for a sec. Alright, so I figured out what this is. So here it is. So what you want to do is triple click your geometry. Go to Window, and if you don't have default tray, you'll probably have this selection here. If you go to Soften Edges, where is it here? Soften Edges. It's basically a dial. If you look over to the right here, it should be a dialog box that looks like this. So what you'll do is triple click this geometry. Oops, let's go Control Z. So you'll have this, and then you go to Soften Edges, and you'll have a dialog that looks like this. So so you want to make sure that these two selections, smooth normals and soften coplanar, are both selected. So when you have those selected, just drag this until all those lines are gone. You'll have something that looks like that. See, I did really harsh edges here, so if that shows up, that's not a big deal. Might be able to just get rid of them. Maybe not. Well, in any case, if you did any harsh edges like this, they'll just show up jagged, because that's what SketchUp is. SketchUp is trying to model this terrain as best as they can. So from there, what you want to do is, again, triple click the terrain. We want to put some grass in there to make it look real. So then you go to your landscape, you go to your paint bucket, and then go to landscaping, fencing and vegetation, and then just pick any sort of grass. And so there you go. You've got a fairly realistic looking terrain. If you want to make it look really realistic, you can turn on your shadows, and then it kind of gives it that where is my shadows? There we go. If you have this dialog here, the shadows, you can kind of mess around with that, give it that kind of realistic looking effect. So yeah, that's Topography Lesson 1. I hope it helps. Thanks.